Loves, welcome back to Day Spills Tea. I, of course, am the lovely Day. And last night we got part one of, I think, the 4-part series of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, season 6. It was actually pretty good. I felt like they did a little too much flashbacks and all of that. We already saw the show. You know, we want new and developing information. Anyways, but I did enjoy it very, very much. And I do have opinions on things that were said and done on the episode. And I know that a lot of what I'm going to say, some of y'all are not going to agree with. Drop it down below. A lot of what I say, hopefully, a lot of you will agree with. But before we jump into my opinions, I need for you all to hit the like button, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't done that already. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps this poor little black child in the algorithm. Okay, I'm not going to use the race card. It helps me in the algorithm. So subscribe, ring the notification bell. That way you get notified every time I post a video. With that being said, let's jump into it. So at the very beginning, Andy is kind of focused on Mia. Of course, she is the newbie. And so he's asking the ladies what were their first impressions of her. And Candiace, you know, is saying that she thought she was cool and all of that. He goes on to Giselle. Giselle's like, at first I thought she was cool, and then she was kind of tripping. So Candiace chimes in, and she's got all the stuff to say about Mia and her lies. Now, we know that Mia and the truth are not all that close. She likes to, you know, embellish a little bit. She forgets a little bit of what she said from time to time and all of that. But when they asked what she lied about, Candiace brought up her surgery. And I know y'all not going to agree with me here, but I just thought that was so whack. Y'all are a group of women. All y'all got men's in y'all life, except for, you know, Giselle. And y'all worried about this lady's clitoris. Why? Like, I don't care if she had the inside done, the outside done, the round the back side done, the side, the left. I don't care. Why do y'all care about what part of her body she had surgery on? Like, I just felt like that was just so whack. And it just meant to me that y'all just don't have nothing else going on. Like, you know, I don't know. And then later they talked about the fact that she was a stripper. And I thought that was ridiculous, too, that they were trying to come for her for that. She said she was a stripper. And Candiace is like, well, no, you said you wore gowns. She never said she didn't take the gown off. She said we wore gowns. She said they didn't dance on poles because there are different ways of stripping. A lot of us strip for our man. We don't always use a pole. But anyway, she did say she was a stripper. By default, that means she took her clothes off. So now don't act like she was lying about whether or not she was a stripper. After G originally said she was a bartender, she later came back herself and admitted that she was stripping. Okay? So get off her back for that. Anyways, so when they're talking about her clitoris, for whatever reasons, they feel like they should talk about that. Wendy is like, yeah, but you say you like missionary position. Wendy, like, what are you talking about? Who cares what position she likes to have sex in? Like, I'm not going to be all graphic, but if things are going well, who cares which position she enjoys? And I know her point was that shouldn't, you know, damage her vagina in any way. But again, why y'all worried about her coochie? I will never understand that. I will never understand that. They talked about that way too long. And Wendy, clearly you had things that were not right with your body, whether it's your vagina, your breast, your tummy, your butt, or whatever, that you needed to get taken care of, and you did. And you didn't want people talking about the fact that you did it. So zip it. Anyways, so then Mia is talking about being at the club, and she talks about the fact that G used to be walking around the club barefooted. And she basically revealed that this was one high-end, fancy-dancy, bougie strippery. And he apparently funded like the top portion or like upper level or something. You've been frequenting that club a lot to be funding a wing. Like, that's a lot of money. You really spent a lot of money on TNA, homeboy. She got the right one because, I mean, just it's easy to keep him happy. Apparently, all you got to do is make sure you have something to show. I mean, I don't know. That's a lot of money to have spent to have helped to fund the freaking building of the strip club or the upper level or whatever it was. And apparently he had been doing that for a long time, long before Mia ever came along. And I guess she was just like, look, I'm not about to let this man get away and all I got to do is shake my tail. A lot of us would say hats off to Mia for that, but a lot of us just don't like Mia. So they talked about money and all of that kind of stuff. And then again, I know a lot of y'all gonna disagree with me, but I feel like it's so damn whack that these women are on a mission, and the viewers too, are on a mission to prove that she didn't have nothing before him. Like, why? She is actually college educated. She said he had McDonald's and she had massage envies or whatever. Whether he helped or not, the majority of the women, if not all of the women on the show, got their income in some way because of the man that they were with. Giselle ain't built nothing from the ground. Giselle was the first lady of mega churches. Robin ain't built nothing from the ground. Juan was in the NBA. Like, why are y'all coming at her like it's a problem that she looks like she's doing something? Why are you pressed about it looking like she did something? Let her have it. I don't understand the women hating on other women just trying to live well. Now, you could say I'm being hypocritical because I don't like certain women. I don't like Wendy. I don't like Candiace. I don't like Giselle. I don't like Robin. I don't like a lot of them. But it's not because they're doing well. It's because they are jerks. But these women don't like other women who are doing well. Case in point, the whole reason Giselle hated Monique was because Monique was doing well. Let's be very clear. Okay, moving on from that. Mia mentioned that her mom was going to pray for Candiace. Mia, that was dumb. Don't do that because you don't want her to talk about your mama. Don't bring your mama up talking about Candiace. Okay, period. You're wrong for that. Absolutely wrong for that. And when Candiace mentioned later that she didn't appreciate Mia insinuating that if her mother relapsed, it would be Candiace's fault. Candiace is 100% right. As much as I don't like to agree with her, as much as I don't enjoy her, she was 100% right. If Mia's mom relapses, it's because Mia and her mother made the choice to put her into this public platform. It is not Candiace's doing. Not at all. Not at all. Anyways, So then they move on to Giselle's front and back house. And as Andy is asking around, like, what does the house look like? Robin is sick with the idea that someone is not being nice to Giselle. And so Robin jumps in and she's like, well, the entryway is going to combine it and make it all cohesive. No, that's not what entryways do. So what's the entryway going to be, a hodgepodge of the left ring and the right ring? Like, no, that's not what it does. But anyways, Giselle's house, we all know, is just not hot. I mean, she might do a decent job inside, but definitely from the outside, it's a front back house. They show that clip of Wendy when she said, hating on this. And I will promise you that I will laugh every single time I see that clip, especially when she went, hating on this. That was golden. I love it. And they can show that clip every episode as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to laugh because it's hilarious. Anyways, so then they start talking about, now, it was really, really frustrating to me too. It's okay not to like somebody, but Wendy is probably the most pressed person I've ever seen in my life. She did just the most. Every single comment Giselle makes, Wendy has to say something behind it. You could dislike somebody and you don't have to be that pressed. And it was really, really annoying that she kept doing that. Anyways, so then they start talking about Giselle breaking up with Pastor Jamal or Pastor Holy Whore. Oh, I haven't used that word in a long time. Holy Whore. Anyways, so they started talking about that. And I did find it to be funny that Giselle couldn't recall when they broke up. Because of course you know when y'all broke up. Of course you know. And Wendy was right to say that the timeline doesn't add up. But why do you care? Why do you care? And she brought up a good point though. We all saw Jamal. He did his little video where his binder was upside down. And he basically made it clear that him and Giselle were not in a relationship. And so everybody start kind of asking Wendy questions. And if you look at Robin, Robin is again sick Like watching her face, she looks visibly in pain that people are questioning Giselle. She loved that woman. She loved her dirty jaws. She really, really loved that woman. She did not want anybody coming for Giselle. And when they were talking about that, she spoke up and she's like, well, everybody handles things differently, because Giselle is saying how she doesn't cry and she doesn't get emotional. And she did it as a protection for herself, as a, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember. Anyways, but Robin spoke up on her behalf, and Wendy was like, I gotta get in here too. And Robin is like, you could chill sometimes. Dang. Like, why you gotta always be jumping in? And I felt the same way, Robin. Like, I felt the very same way. Like, you can throw your shade when it's time to throw your shade. You could jump in when somebody asks you a question. But just being pressed to say something behind every single word that somebody says, it really just makes you look like a loser. It really, really, really makes her look like a loser to me. I don't like that at all. Anyway, Giselle claims she knew about all the stuff that Monique brought out in the binder. And I'm thinking, like, it's mighty funny. That's been your claim all this season. But during the reunion, you were trying to deny all of it. That's why it was so embarrassing when Monique read out that phone number and said, that's his phone number, right? Because you were trying to pretend that none of it was true. And now you want to say it was true and you knew about it. No, you and Jamal had whatever little thing y'all had going on, and you were trying to pull the wool over our eyes and act like you had a man, and you ain't had no man. Anyways, so Escale is asked about her clothes. She says that she would make over Giselle if she could and bring her current. And it was so funny to me too that Andy was asking Giselle about, like, did you get a new stylist? And she's like, no, it's the same person I've always been with. And he's pretty much like, how's that working for you? Giselle is too easy a target. And while I appreciate Escala saying she would make over Giselle, Candiace used to be fly, but Candiace is really overdoing it with the makeup this season. That was a mess at the reunion. That Nutty Professor wig was not hitting. The spider web lashes, not hitting. The super overlined lip, not hitting. None of it, not hitting. Not cute. Didn't like it. Hated it. Anyways, so Andy makes a joke about Candiace's mom saying that she's there, and Candiace is like, I will leave. And I'm just like, wow, that is so sad. Because she was very, very serious. Like, if that woman is coming out here, I will leave. So Candiace, I just kicked my camera. Anyways, so they talk about Chris and whether or not he's riding on Candiace's coattails. And of course, Giselle thinks he is. Of course, all the ladies think he is. And so the question came up, how do you pay him? And she says she pays him in love. Mia chimes in and says getting paid for sex is prostitution. And while it was funny, and especially since Candiace was like, well, you would know. And she was like, yes, I don't speak on things I don't know about. That was funny. But Mia, you should shut the hell up if you don't want people to come at you. Because it's fine to do that with Giselle or Karen or Robin. Those other ladies don't mind going back and forth with you. They don't mind doing it. And they can do it without it being hard feelings right away. But you already know that Candiace is just going to be on 10. Candiace don't have self-control. So stop throwing the little jabs with somebody who you know is going to spiral into something bigger with. I think that was really, really just messy and unnecessary for her to do that. I also thought it was hilarious that when they talked about Dot going around and talking to all Candiace's friends about Chris, she said that she cursed her mother out. But she also said that when her mom was saying, well, they asked me questions and all of that. And she was talking and Andy was cutting her off. But what she said was, I tell my mother, you have autonomy over your voice. You should walk away. So why then does Candiace act like she doesn't know that shutting the hell up and walking away is an option? The arrogance and the entitlement for me kill me. Because she acts like she's always entitled to act a plum fool. She acts, everything is, she brought her big face, you brought your wide body, that mother blank did this. And she always feels like it's a reason why she should act a fool. But then you tell your mom, you have autonomy over your voice, walk away. Because you like being a fool. You like acting ignorant. And I can't stand it. Anywho, so as they continue talking about her mom spilling tea about Chris and dogging him out to all of her friends, she begins to cry. And I thought it was so funny that she over there crying and Andy is over there proud of himself that he could fold a tissue into a square. But she's over there crying because her husband is hurt. And I said in my last video, like, I hate to put like a time limit on people's marriages, but I don't understand how this marriage can continue to work. With her cursing at the man the way she does and telling him to shut the F up, and then her mama going on national TV on one of the biggest reality TV shows ever and dogging him out and basically calling him a moocher and all of that kind of thing. Of course his family is watching it. And of course they're hurt by it. Of course they're embarrassed by it. Of course they're going to dislike Candiace for it, even if she's not the one who said it. So you're crying and you're all upset and everything about what happened. And it might be time for you to take a step back. You might not need to be on this show. And I felt like Andy was kind of like warning her a few times. Like when he talked about her being so visceral and so harsh with her words and with her language, he's like, how's that working for you? And he asked her that several weeks back on Watch What Happens Live too. He asked her, I forget exactly what he said, but he asked it in a way like he was trying to warn her, like, you need to fix it. And so, of course, she's all like, well, what if somebody is insulting me and all of that? And he's like, listen, you had somebody physically attack you last year because of your mouth. And you're going to blame me? Yes. You are the common denominator. You are the one who's always acting a fool. And then, of course, she tries to say that it's everybody else too. We all do the same thing, but I'm just better at it. You are a fool. You think that you are good at being disrespectful? What the hell? What kind of badge is that you're looking for? And you're not good at it. You repeated the same reads like 40 times this season with the same rhythm. You said exactly the same way, the same thing every time. You brought your big face. You brought your big forehead. You brought your wide body. You brought your big feet. You're not even imaginative, babe. You're not good at it. And please don't embarrass yourself calling yourself an orator, because you're not one. And I don't care. Some of y'all are going to say Candiace comes from generational wealth. Candiace is educated and Candiace worked on this degree. I don't give a damn. She's not an orator. Okay? And when she said, when someone is orating, I had the same response as Andy. I was like, orating? The child is nuts. Something ain't right. Something is not right. Ooh, I done lost my place. I don't know where I was. Oh, she had the nerve to say that she went easy on Mia and Mia wasn't grateful. Ooh, the audacity. The audacity. Oh, she lucky Mia is Mia. She needs to be grateful. She needs to be grateful that Monique turned down that contract, because she might have got dragged again. You need to be grateful. Don't tell Mia to be grateful. You be grateful that Monique turned down that contract, ma'am. Oh, anyways, I think that's about it. I could go on for days talking about Candiace. She just really, really is a catastrophe. And I do, in some ways, I feel bad for her, because I know that all of this just nastiness that comes from her, all of this hate that she spews and all of that, the stuff that she does online, it comes from hurt from her mom. It does. It obviously does. And I just hope that she at some point finds the right therapist, the right friend, I don't know, maybe Chris will get there at some point to help her see that she actually needs to change. Because right now, she still doesn't believe that she has ever done anything wrong. She has never been wrong. In her mind, everything she said and done is justified. And one way we know that is that when we watch the trailer for next week, we see her asking Mia, "Are you gonna kick my ass?" Candiace, do you not remember what happened the last time? Anyways, I enjoyed this reunion episode. I'm looking forward to next week. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.